Live from Drew. Actually, no, this isn't live from Tijuana. This is True Health Tuesdays, kind of, but we're filming it on Monday. But the truth will set you free. Now, we're going to talk about lupus tonight, which is going to be kind of interesting. But we've got to change the entire format of the health talk because the powers that be, I don't know if you're aware of this. I know I tell some people that there's a censorship thing going on with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, everything. But, there's also licensing boards involved in this. So we're changing it to a 10 to 15 minute format. So I'm going to be short, sweet, tell you everything that I can tell you. But there's a lot of things that we can't talk about, like certain medical procedures that may be forced on you that may be contributing to the subject matter, such as tonight we're talking about lupus. But also, you're going to be able to post your comments below this video, and I'm going to do everything I can to answer as many as we can. Although some of the questions, the answers may be censored. So we're going to be putting those on the Dr. B VIP. A follow-up video will be posted with our answers to as many questions as we can. But the longer, totally uncensored version will be on the Dr. B VIP. And those of you that are supporting us on that, you're going to see some upgrades to the site that will blow your mind over the next 2-3 months. I mean, really blow your mind. And then we're also, okay, if you're watching it on there, you're going to watch it uninterrupted. We also have the apprenticeship program coming up. Extreme Health Academy, okay, great forums, great everything. And, please support them. But we are also going to be doing a 2-hour webinar next coming Sunday. So what's lupus? So let's take a look at this. Let's look at the Mayo Clinic. For one, chronic inflammation. And inflammation has to do with tissue damage. It's actually a repair process. But the Mayo Clinic says this lupus can affect every body symptoms. Joints, skin, kidneys, blood, brain, heart, lungs. So what is damaging that? Now, National Institutes of Health, the cause of lupus is unknown, but they say genetics may be a part of it. Really? So let's look at the Mayo Clinic. Again, they say a combination of genetics and your environment. Sunlight exposure, infections, medications. Interesting. Lupus can be triggered by a certain type of anti-seizure, blood pressure medications, antibiotics, extensive. Now, American College of Rheumatology says the studies have yielded on genetic markers of lupus susceptibility have yielded inconclusive results. So, what's the difference between genetic and genetic expression? So you can have these genes. So they're saying, well, we don't know what the cause is. Could be genetic. Let's blame human beings. Except we're seeing a rise in this, a rise in all autoimmune conditions. So you have genetics, and then you have epigenetic control, a control above the genes. So, and we know that virtually all medications, so we're talking cholesterol, antidepressants, blood pressure, anti-inflammatories, contraceptives, antibiotics. And it's interesting that a lot of these medications here actually can cause epigenetic changes. And what kind of changes? Well, we're looking at heart disease, nerve, mental, leukemia, schizophrenia, infertility. So remember, we're living in a society that utilizes chemicals that have a myriad of effects. We call this healthcare, even though it's not. It's actually control of the symptoms by using a toxic chemical. And by utilizing that, you're changing genetic expression. Now, isn't that interesting? I mean, granted that we have the sickest society of industrial nation on the planet, but let's look at this. What are the symptoms of lupus? So, some people are saying it's inflammatory. In order to have inflammatory, you have to have tissue damage, and they're saying tissue damage in almost every aspect of the body. Painful swelling in the joints, muscle pain, fever with unknown cause, rashness, chest pain, hair loss, purple or finger toes, sensitivity to sun, swelling around the eyes, mouth, ulcers, feeling tired. Now, when we look at this, I want you to start to understand that your body that has been designed to live on this planet and is tens of thousands of generations old are exposed to certain medical procedures and certain things that are like hormones, but not hormones. And they're in the manufacturing process. I want you to look at antiphospholipid syndrome. Now, this is when your immune system, and when I say immune system, there's no real immune system. There's a number of responses that some of your cells and systems have in response to foreign entities that are attacking you, like foreign proteins that aren't tempered by digestion. Now, it's interesting that there's no cure for antiphospholipid syndrome. Now, you figure you have a phospholipid membrane around most every cell you got. And if you break up that phospholipid, you can use it in industrial products. Now, on this one, you're looking at cardiovascular, neurologic, rash, stroke, miscarriages. And industry is producing these phospholipids. I know it sounds weird, but this is like a cell membrane. You break it up, and it's used in food, nutritional, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, drug delivery. This is why when I talk about these, they're hormones, but not really hormones. Okay. And hormones are chemical messengers. So these are chemical messengers that are in your food, in your makeup, in your pharmaceuticals that are altering how your body is adapting to the environment and altering an immune system response. Phospholipids can be split to produce products that function as secondary messengers to intervene in processes of long-term depression in neurons. Prostaglandin, they act as emulsifiers. Soy lecithin, dietary supplements. These phospholipids are used in water and oil emulsions like margarine. Now, out of the Journal of Lupus, and this was in 2014, a dose-dependent combination of environmental exposures, estrogenic hormones, and genetic predisposition is thought to be required for lupus to flare up. Now, so when you look at this, chemical messengers, which are hormones, they're now in your food, in your makeup, your clothes, your products. They're in your environment. Now, environmental agents implicated in inhibiting T cell DNA methylation, lupus-inducing drugs, hydrolysine, diet, agents, oxidative stress, smoking, UV light, estrogen augment the disease. Together with lupus, genes and estrogen or endocrine disruptors combine with a dose-dependent fashion to cause lupus flares. So we're living in a sea of chemicals. Now, you have two communication pathways. You got the nervous system and you got the hormonal system, the endocrine system. Now, what's interesting is all of these chemical messengers, if you're exposed to things that are like hormones but not hormones, those are called endocrine disruptors. So now we're looking at the cause of lupus. And it's not just this, because there's some things that I can't talk about that have known data and known facts to cause this tissue damage, to cause a lupus-like reaction, but I can't tell you in this part of the video. So we know food, personal care products, cosmetics, and these are all like hormones, but not hormones. And here's one, censored medical interventions. We'll just call it CMI. And these are certain medical interventions that are forced on you by certain professions. Pharmaceuticals, pesticides, plastic, water, and certain soil. Now, here's a patient, 68 years old from Texas. What's interesting, we have before and after of that one shot of the lumbar. And you'll see big black areas there. Now, that's what a leaky gut looks like. So, how can these toxic chemicals get in there and damage the intestinal tract? They do it through certain chemical processes. Like if you're eating commercially produced bread, you're talking that this can literally destroy the normal flora and damage the intestinal tract. If you're taking medications, those can all alter the powerhouses of the cells, those little mitochondria. But we're looking at before and after. We're looking at loss of curve and normal curve. So How to have healthy hormones. That would be a good thing. Number one, healthy nerve supply, because you got those two chemical messengers, or two messaging systems. One is the nervous system, one is the hormonal system or chemical messengers. If you're taking medications, we know that virtually every medication can alter mitochondria function, or it can damage how the body works. If you're taking drugs, find out where you're taking them and fix it. Healthy saturated fats eliminate toxins, eliminate preserved commercial foods, eliminate heavy, get a healthy water source, eliminate plastic liners, pesticides, and toxic grains. Now, it's interesting. Look at this. The Journal of Prostaglandins, SLE is systemic lupus erythematosus, and EPA and DHA can have a modulant oxidant nitric synthesis, may have a role and regular role in the synthesis of antioxidant enzymes. What this states is that omega-3s and EPA DHA induce prolonged remission of lupus, SLE. Isn't that interesting? So omega-3s, healthy fats, and avoiding toxins, okay? Another one, annals of rheumatic diseases, okay? The fish oils improve endothelial function and reduce oxidative stress. Endothelium is the lining of the arteries, the lining of parts of the intestinal tract. They're an organ which can be damaged by certain things I can't talk about. In the second part, I will. There's another one. Journal of Rheumatology, the management of SLE or systemic lupus with fish oil may be beneficial. Vitamin D in lupus. Low vitamin D is associated with higher disease activity, lupus, science, and medication. Low levels of vitamin D, again, Journal of Rheumatology. Vitamin D deficiency in the Journal of Lupus. Why is vitamin D so important? Okay, and it's just, when you look at this, it's really important. This is how you're designed to live on the planet. Vitamin D exerts important regulatory functions from the cells. Frontiers in immunology, microflora. So anything that damages your gut flora is also going to negatively affect how tissue is produced. Nutrients Journal. Our group has recently shown the existence of gut microflora and dysbiosis in SLE, supporting the previous evidence involving intestinal bacteria and the initiation and application of autoimmune disease. The association between common foods such as oranges and apples with specific microorganisms has been reported to decrease SLE. Isn't that amazing? So it turns out, don't do stuff that can toxify your system, avoid and endocrine disrupting chemicals, and if you're taking medications, find out why you're taking it. And you will literally find the cause and solution to lupus. And so when we put this up, nerve supply, you got to have, that's one of your communication pathways. You got the electric system and the hormonal system. You got to do regular exercise because this is how your body works. Now, we give exercises to some of our patients who are quadriplegic, and they might just be able to do breathing exercises or something, but you can do something. Proper nutrition. Don't get genetically modified foods. Look at the coatings on the foods. Look at apeel. You don't want that stuff. Look at all the glyphosate-soaked foods. Sufficient rest. We have a number of different articles and things that you can learn how to get the deep sleep and prayer and meditation. Now, we're going to try and hold all of these lectures to about 10 to 15 minutes. And please post your questions down below because I know I'm really hitting lightly on this topic. And when I say that the medical system says it's genetic, but they're not offering any evidence to why there's an alteration in genetic expression, but the data supports that your body is literally being damaged by the environment. A follow-up video will be posted later on this week, and the second part of this, we're going to go over some of the causes that we can't post on the first one. So if you're on YouTube and Facebook, this information I hope was helpful. Post the comments below. But we're now going into an area that would get us censored. And this is also associated with the cause and solution of lupus.